Hello everyone. I know a lot of you guys are quite excited to see some of my pigeons. Here are a few of the young birds that I've bred recently. There's actually a lot going on here at the moment. The race season has just about finished and I've finished flying for the year. I've got the old race birds in this section of the loft and we will take a look at them in a second. There's a lot of breeding going on here, including in this new breeding loft that I actually built in January but you guys haven't seen yet. We'll have a look at that soon. There's 25 pairs of birds together. But let's jump inside this old bird loft and have a look at the race birds. So you'll have to forgive me, I haven't had a chance to clean up yet. But most of the old race birds are in this section of the loft. There are a few in the young bird section running some eggs, and there are a few over there and outside being bred from. But as far as the race season went, I competed in, I think it was 11 races, and I think my best result was 5th in the club derby, which wasn't a bad result, but this year was more about learning what's wrong with the loft and what I need to change. So there are actually quite a few things that are going to change. This back wall is going to come out. I'm going to replace this whole wall with mesh, just to let a bit more light and air in. Another thing you might notice is that this outside area now has a covered floor, and this is what happens when you don't measure properly. So I am going to do that to the rest of the loft, and then this front area is going to have more ventilation as well. Also here you can see the recessive reds. They weren't the fastest birds in the loft, but they were quite good at coming home. I didn't lose too many of these reds, and I'm hoping to improve their bloodline going forward. Speaking of the recessive reds, this is a pair of little babies, and their father is one of the reds. So it'll be interesting to see in a few days what colour these are, because I don't actually know what the base colour is of my recessive reds underneath their coat of red. And obviously this is paired up to a blue bar, so that should give us a nice indication. So like I said, I actually have about 25 pairs together at the moment, which is way too many breeding pigeons. But this is one of the colour pairs that I'm quite excited about. These babies could be Barless, and I don't think this one is. We can see a bit of black coming through there. So this one might be a blue bar. I'm not quite sure about the other one yet. I'm really hoping for some Barless hens, because some Barless hens will be gold for my Barless breeding project going forward. So I'll have to give you guys an update in another couple of days when I confirm what colour these little guys are. In this section of the loft there are a few more colour projects going on. There's this guy who could be an ash red recessive opal, and that's what I'm trying to test with him. It's obvious what this one is, Tiger Grizzle. These guys have actually had one round already, and it was a blue checker, it's the baby, which was a surprise. So I'm hoping to get a Tiger Grizzle this time. Here's Andalusian, and the same as the Tiger Grizzle, this guy has had a previous round and it was an indigo check. I'll show you him in another video, but they've just hatched one more baby. So hopefully we'll get a nice little Andalusian out of that. There's also my whites, which you haven't seen for a while. I'm not that interested in breeding white pigeons, but we actually have 2 white bird derby races here in Sydney now. So that gives me a little bit of an incentive to breed them. There's quite a nice prize on the white bird races. Actually, whilst I'm here with the Tiger Grizzle, I'll show you something interesting. We'll look at this a bit closer in a future video. But one of these eggs, let's check which one. No, not that one. Must be this one. Yeah, you can see there. This appears to be a double yolker. So this egg isn't showing any signs of life yet, but we'll check in a few more days. If this egg is fertile, it could actually be a set of twins, but we'll monitor this situation and check it out later on. There's another little baby here. Now this one is out of my Opal spread hen. Where is she? Here she is over here. So I raced this hen this year, and she is going to race again next year, but at the moment she's in the breeding loft. This baby is an interesting one. I'm expecting it to be a black pied, But if we have a close look, you can see it's actually quite lightly coloured. And there is a very, very extremely slim chance that it could actually be another opal spread. And if that is the case, I'll be thrilled. But just like the Barless babies, I'll have to wait a few more days to see what colour it really is. Now, like I said earlier, out there is actually a breeding loft that I put up, what, 9 months ago? And I hadn't actually shown it in a video ever. So let's go and have a look over there. So this breeding loft, I actually put this up in January, which I think I've said 2 or 3 times now already. And this is where the breeding cocks live in the race season. But now that it's the breeding season, there are quite a few pairs of pigeons in here. There's no colour projects in this side at the moment. These are all strictly race pigeons. Most of these are young stock birds that I haven't bred from yet. These 2 pairs I only put together a couple of days ago, so they obviously haven't laid yet. The rest of them, I'm pretty sure, are on eggs. And there's a couple of pairs down the bottom as well. So I'll keep you updated on these guys. I'm looking forward to trying out these younger pairs to see how they go next year. It'll be interesting to see what kind of babies they produce, and hopefully we'll get some champions out of them. And last year I had my external breeding boxes, the timber ones. The timber obviously wasn't very good externally, so I've got this old metal set of boxes. There's just a few old stock birds in here, and at the moment all the eggs have been clear. I don't know if these guys are going to breed or not, but we'll give them a go. There's the little indigo check that I was talking about that came out of the Andalusian. We'll have a close look at him in another video. Actually, this little blue checker, that's the one that came out of the tiger villas. And then there's a little white hen from the first round. We'll have a close look at these young birds, hopefully later in the week. I know it's been 3 months since the last video, so I don't want to make any promises. But I am very happy, especially with this little checker. And we have some parrots flying over. They are a little bit camera shy, but I'll have a look at this one whilst he's here. This is an opal spread from the first round. It's very, very pretty. It's already a pretty bird, but it'll be very much nicer once it molts out. They're a little bit wild though, these guys, and they're quite strong. I'm actually a bit surprised at how nice they are in the hand for a colour project bird. But we'll look at these guys a bit closer in another video pretty soon when we have a closer look at the young birds that we've weaned already. But guys, that's about it for today's video. I'll try and have the next one out in less than 2 or 3 months. Hopefully this week if we're lucky, especially because we want to check these young birds over here, see if we did breed a Barless, see if we did breed an opal spread, and check out how the rest of the young birds are going. Anyway guys, I'll catch up later on. We'll have another close look at these race birds. We'll go through some of the race results. But for now, click here, watch another video, and I'll see you again soon.